everybody out there. Can you hear me now? Hello, everybody in YouTube land. There you is. Can you all hear me now? Hello, Lady Hawthorne, Sorrenti, nice to see you. Hey, Woody, the cool guy, nice to see you all. Very cool. Hey, Rhonda. Caleb, nice to see you. Hey, Grizz. What is up, my peeps? How is everybody out there in YouTube land? I hope you guys are staying a lot warmer than we are up here in Alaska. -8 this morning. That's right, -8 this morning. You know, I took a little time off today and I watched that movie The Day After with Dennis Quaid where everything in America froze. And you know, when you're sitting in a nice, comfortable house in the Midwest in America, that movie is scary. Well, let me tell you, it's really scary when you're up here living in Alaska and it's dark outside and it's -8 outside. -8 really puts that into some perspective. So, hey, Castle Dove, how are you doing, darling? Glad to see you here. Austin, nice to see you. Evening. Hello, Christine. Oh, we're getting a pretty good crowd already this evening. Very cool. Very cool indeed. So how is everybody? Anything interesting going on with anybody to begin with this evening? You guys have anything interesting to report? Or should I jump right into the show? 32 degrees in Illinois. Hello, Chips Ahoy. How are you? 32 degrees. I can do 32 degrees in t-shirts. That's easy. Yes, Caleb, it is very beautiful up here, but it is cold. Hey, Judy, how are you? You ever hear about that doc called Conspiracy is Silenced? It's a two-parter on YouTube. I was watching it as you came on. I don't think I have seen that, Judy. I will make a note of it and try to look at it, but no, I have not seen that. Did you get your grill figured out? Your grill temperatures. I know it's a bit of a learning curve getting those grills figured out and getting about the right temperature. You know, you might be able to do as I did and just drill a new hole in my grill and drop an instant read thermometer in that reads anywhere from, from the important ranges are 200 to 550, somewhere in there. So you might be able to find something like that that might work for you. Grizz says he made some Asian food the other day, put too much peppers in it. Yeah, I imagine you could use some icicles, and I know probably where you would need them too. Connor Ricky of Silence. Crap, I can't spell. Okay. It's all good, Judy. It's all good. Okay, well, a brief recap of the week. I put out some interesting videos, some blasts from the past, actually. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I did one on the moose attacking my trail cams, which I thought was pretty interesting, that she came right up and was breathing and licking on them and gnawing on them, although she didn't do any damage to them. Pretty obvious that the cow moose was pretty well enthralled with my trail cam. Got some interesting footage of that. And then I did a video of me on the boat with Lily. That's the boat that I sold this past fall. But I have some footage on that and seemed like a good idea to put some of that stuff on. It always puts me in a good mood to watch some of that footage of me being in a good mood out on the sailboat. Something I enjoy quite a bit, as you well know. Caleb asked, do the cams make noise? Caleb, everybody, if you're going to ask me a question, please do it in all caps, please. Do the cams make noise? I don't hear a noise from them. I understand they click from time to time, like when they are triggered by something, you'll hear a small click. I've noticed the animals that are being caught by the camera are startled by them. So I imagine they must make, thanks, Caleb. I imagine they must make some kind of noise, at least a little bit. And they also have night vision, so a little light will kick on, not like a light bulb kicking on, but the infrared stuff will kick on, and illuminate out in front of the camera a bit. And so maybe they see just a light coming on, maybe they hear it click. I'm not really sure of which it is, but in any event, they do seem to like the cam. And you know, it's interesting because the really close-up bear footage I got was a bear coming right over and practically licking the camera, and then the moose licking the camera. So maybe these cameras just taste good. I don't know. You know, you would think maybe what I should have done is put some bait on the ground in front of the camera, so we could have actually seen them, except for their ears and tongues and eyeballs and stuff. But maybe next time we'll do that. We'll put some bait out in front of the camera so that the animal will be in a good, well-framed shot, not breathing on the lens and fogging it up as it so happened. Might want to lick trail cam, see how good it is. No, Sorrenti, I'm going to pass on that. I'm not going to lick my trail cam, sorry. Not on my diet. Anyhow, so I did the video of me on the boat with Lily where I had to get up and go fillet some fish. Caught a lot of fish on that trip. Catch a lot of fish every time I go out here in Alaska. Quit putting salt on the cams. I do not put any salt on the cams. Oh, you liked the coyote chase, Caleb? Yeah, that was fun. That was actually a lot more fun for me than the coyote, obviously. I had a lot of fun watching him in the trail cam and following him around. I hope to do some more of that now that we've got some snow cover in, but if we get any deep snow, which we don't have right now, we've just got like an inch on the ground. It would make it really interesting because it would make it hard for the coyote to get around, but right now they don't have too much trouble. Anyhow, then I also did some old videos. I brought up some old videos from my Travelers in Paradise days. I did a video of us scuba diving in the Indians with my daughter Lacey narrating. Lacey has since moved away. She now lives in London. And then I did a Travelers in Paradise episode of me cooking steaks because some folks on here asked to see more cooking stuff. So since I had that episode of me cooking steaks, and I have some other ones. I have another one of me cooking chicken and some others that we'll do as well. The cooking episode we actually did because we had a sponsor for Travelers in Paradise, that's Sunny Bee Caribbean Spices, which actually is pretty good spices. They come from the BVI. They search all around the Caribbean and get really good fresh spices. So if you want to get spices directly from them, you can contact them on their website. But they're pretty cool folks. And no, they did not pay to have me air that again, nor did they pay for me to mention that again here on the live stream. It's just that they're really nice folks, and I like to promote folks that are really cool. So, okay. The next thing that I wanted to kind of get to, I got stuff pinging all over the place here. Okay, so my ex-wife, Johanna, wanted to let me know she's watching, but her chat's not working. So anyhow, hello, Johanna. Nice to see you. Well, not see you, but there you are. Glad you're watching anyway. Hello, Psycho Panda. How you doing? Okay, Grizz. Yes, I remember that commercial. Yes, the British Virgin Islands, Lady Hawthorne. That's where they're from, the British Virgin Islands, the BVI. Really good sailing ground. We've gone down to the BVI and chartered some sailboats a couple of times and had a really great time down there doing some scuba diving. Although it was really sad to go scuba diving in the areas where all the mooring balls were because of the loading that area was getting from all the toilets and stuff being flushed in that area. If you got away from the anchorages a little bit and out into the more open areas, the diving and the coral reefs and fishes and stuff were much better, where they weren't so overloaded with waste from all the boats. So much of a problem in the sailing community as it is everywhere else, apparently. Anyhow, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. So I have a couple of things I want to talk about today. And the first thing I want to talk about today is sailing. Imagine that. I have sailing on the brain right now. But no, we had some folks go to the effort of looking up some sailboats for me last time and helping me try to identify some boats. And I wanted to just broach that subject briefly here. Guys, I pretty much am in a situation where I'm going to have to buy a boat up here in Alaska. I'm too remote for me to really buy something outside of this area. I have too much gear here with me in Alaska that has to go onto the boat. The only way I'd be able to buy a boat somewhere in the lower 48 would be to buy a cargo trailer, load everything up into a cargo trailer, and then drive it all the way down there to someplace, and that is cost prohibitive. In making this move from being up here in my cabin in Alaska to going onto a small sailboat to sail around the world, I really got to watch my finances because I'm going to be cutting off my income, well, completely. You know, right now I'm making all of about $20 a month with my YouTube channel, and I'm going to have to figure out a way of either building the YouTube channel up to a comfortable amount or living on $20 a month, which obviously isn't going to happen. So that's sort of the job I'm faced with right now. No, Psycho Panda, everyone's kind of quiet, aren't they? Yeah. They're all deep in thought, apparently. Hello, Nailed It. How are you? Anyhow, so I wanted to touch base with you guys about the kind of boats that I'm looking for. I am going to probably have to buy something up here. Ideally, what I am looking for is something that has a sugar scoop. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I say a sugar scoop. This is a type of boat that has a, the back of the boat is designed such that makes it really easy to get in and out of the water, okay? You see how it's like a staircase in the back, and then what's not shown here is a swim ladder that drops down in the water. When you're scuba diving a lot, like I will be doing, you really need to have a boat that has easy access to it. So I need to be able to get in and out of the boat easily. And Todd Mills, welcome here. I will talk a little bit about my requirements for the boat. One of them is I want to have a boat with a sugar scoop. That is one of my criteria. I would like a boat with a decent galley. Now, it doesn't have to be nearly as fancy as this one on this Hunter 40, but I would like to have a halfway decent galley because I do cook. I don't just microwave and you know, throw something up real fast and easy. I like to make real food. I would like something with a decent head with a shower. As you can see here, this is a ship's head with a shower unit in it. So that would require a boat that has hot water or the capacity to heat hot water. I'm going to be doing a lot of video production, and so I have very large power needs. And so one of my power needs is to be able to have solar panels. You might be able to see on this next picture coming up some solar panels up on the roof. On the dinghy davits, this is the back of the boat where you can lift the dinghy up and sit on the back of the boat. But see those panels across the roof? Those are solar panels that generate electricity. The boat will have a large battery bank in it for storage of power, because I'm going to have to be able to recharge cameras and lights and microphones and all of that kind of stuff. Not to mention powering the laptop for video editing and stuff. So having some solar panels is a critical thing. And then if I'm going to have a head on the boat, I would ideally love to have a boat that uses something like an Electrosand, which is a waste management system on it. This enables you to electrically charge your waste. I'm doing a video on it that's going to come out tomorrow or Monday, actually. You'll be able to see that. It's pretty interesting stuff. But I would like to have something like that on the boat just so I can control the waste management and not be putting nasty effluent out into the ocean. Don't tell the U.S. government you're going to use solar panels. They will confiscate your boat. Actually, Caleb, most of the sailboats out cruising in the world are very definitely reliant on solar power. You said maybe so by January. Dangerous to set sail then, isn't it? Donna, it's not dangerous. It's cold to set sail then. And I don't know exactly when. Let me talk a little bit about my calendar, okay? I am kind of going against the court order right now, and I've listed my property for sale. I've listed it for sale, subject to the court's approval if I do find a buyer. So I'm not selling it without their permission. I'm just marketing it without their permission. The idea would be able to get a boat that I can buy in a reasonable time frame, but I got to sell this property first in order to do that. Let's see. Can you put a swim platform on a transom boat? Greatly expands your selection. Yeah, Todd, you can put a swim platform on a transom boat, but it's difficult to do. A lot of sailboat transoms are not conducive to that, and it adds some great amount of weight to the back. So ideally, just having a sugar scoop would be fine, although a swim platform is certainly an alternative, the idea. The other reason I really like the sugar scoop is they make a ramp system that can connect to them that goes down into the water. That'll make it easy for Miss Lily to get on and off the boat by herself. So if she jumps overboard or falls overboard, she can swim around to the back of the boat and come up the ramp and get back on the boat without drowning. A small wind turbine might be okay, Chips Ahoy. Those are common on a lot of sailboats. They're very noisy on sailboats, very, very noisy on a sailboat. So they're not real popular with a lot of cruisers. I mean, a lot of people have them, but they don't like them because they make so much noise, whereas the solar panels are absolutely quiet. But they are an efficient way of getting lots of voltage down into your batteries quickly. So it's a matter of controlling when you have them connected or on and stuff. They kind of are on all the time whenever the wind blows, which blows quite a bit when you're out on a sailboat. That's kind of the idea. So anyhow, back to my timeline. So I'm going to sell this property. I don't know when this property is going to sell. I have no idea. It might sell tomorrow. It may not sell till spring. It may not sell for 2 years. My timeline is predicated upon how quickly I can get the property sold. Now, I am a real estate broker, so I am putting a lot more effort into getting my property sold, and hopefully I will get it sold in a reasonable time frame, but I'm also asking top dollar for my property. So that might, in fact, make it difficult. I don't know how long it may take. Todd, my property, I have 80 acres here in Willow, Montana. I'm asking $279,000 for it. It has a dry cabin, a well, a good producing well, a septic system, neither of which are connected to the dry cabin, and there's an old house foundation here. There used to be a house here that burnt down before we bought it. So $279,000 is the price that we have it on the market for right now. $279,000. Cycle paying $120,000. No, $279,000 is how much we have it on the market for. And I can tell you that there have been other properties of this size, vacant land of this size, that have sold for more than that in this area. In fact, I recently sold an 80-acre parcel that did not have very good access to it, and that sold for $360,000. So asking $279,000 is more than reasonable. Oh, the price of the boat. Ideally, I'd like to spend somewhere around $50,000, maybe a little more for the boat. I don't want to spend too much more than that, because after I get done selling the property, paying off the mortgage, and I got to give some money to the soon-to-be ex-wife and clear up some bills and take care of some stuff and what have you. I want to make sure I leave here completely free, and then I need to have sufficient money left to live on for my first year. Fraser Valley in BC has such an insane real estate market. Cool. That's nice. I'm not in Fraser Valley. Some areas do, some areas don't. Right now, our market up here in Alaska is not great. It's not bad, but it's not great. My plan is, and what I'm hoping to do, is sail my first year and just produce content for you guys. Just put up video after video after video after video. Put up tons of content up onto the channel, and hopefully it'll build up a good viewership that I'll be able to generate enough income from AdSense or from my Patreon account. And just so you guys know, I have set up a Patreon account. So if you guys want to check that out, I just put it in the live stream. You can check out the Patreon account should you want to participate on a grander level with what we've got going on. If you don't, that's fine. No pressure. No, I don't, I'm not going to be upset with anybody for not doing it, but if you can, that's awesome. You can be the first one, because I just set it up and no one's gotten on there yet. So in any event, as soon as we have the property sold, then we'll be able to start buying the boat and going sailing. Until then, everything is sort of stuck and waiting until the property sells. I am in the process of liquidating stuff here on the farm. Hello, Arnie. How you doing? Gotten rid of most of the livestock. Back to goose left today. I've only got the pigs and a couple of geese left. And I'm on the fence about processing the pigs and putting them in my own freezer or selling them. My shoulder's still bothering me quite a bit, so I don't know that I want to. I don't know that I can physically lift up the 240-pound pig and process it by myself. I don't have a piece of equipment here to help me. So I might be better off just selling it. Not to mention, what am I going to do with all that pork? If someone comes along and buys the property, then I'm going to have to get rid of all that pork pretty quickly. So that doesn't seem like a good idea either. So in any event, somebody asked before, what am I looking for in a boat? Okay, so I'm looking for something that's got a cruiser's type hull. I'd like a full displacement hull, a heavy duty blue water boat, not a racer cruiser, not a day sailor. I'm looking for a heavy boat, ideally in the 35 to 42 foot range. I think with me being single-handed or just having one or two inexperienced crew with me, that's plenty. Size-wise, diesel engine, sugar scoop, hot water heater, autopilot, decent autopilot on it. Doesn't be a great autopilot, but it has to be a good, usable autopilot. Good battery bank, hot water, I think I covered that. And that's about it. I don't have a real heavy list of demands or anything that I need to have. I'm a fan of some good old boats too. I just recently sold, the boat I just recently sold was a Cal 31. I wouldn't mind a Cal 36. They're heavy big boats with thick skins on them, so they're good for an old guy like me. Anyhow, that's kind of what I'm looking for in a sailboat, and I'm probably not going to buy that. I'm probably going to end up having to buy something up here that's just available because it would be convenient for me to be able to go work on the boat here locally, move my stuff onto the boat here locally, not be making a bunch of trips back and forth. But we don't know. We don't know. The whims of fame and fortune will certainly dictate how that's going to go. So we will see how that happens here, all in good time. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to touch base with everybody about is Thanksgiving's coming up this week. Turkey Day. Gobble, gobble. Happy Thanksgiving to all of my friends out there. Psycho Panda, I don't believe anybody has donated to my Patreon at all yet. No one has donated. I just started it. I just set it up, and nobody has gotten on it. You can be the first if you want to get on there. I think you can start with $1 a month if that's what you want to do. But yeah, feel free to jump in there if you feel so inclined. I don't want to push the Patreon thing real heavy. It's there. If people want to get on there and help out, that's awesome. I certainly will be appreciated, and you'll have access to some more stuff that we'll be doing on an ongoing basis, but that's just the way it is. Anyhow, I want to talk about Thanksgiving, and I want to talk about the things that I am thankful for. Had a rough year, as most of you guys know, but I'm still very, very, very thankful for a number of things. I'm really thankful for quite a few things. I had some really cool things happen this week. Hold on a minute. I'm thankful for this. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like it's from me and it's to me, right? My grandson sent me a letter. This just blew me away. It was really awesome that my grandson sent me a letter. And I wrote him back, and I sent him a letter back. So that's really cool. I hope that my grandson and I will become pen pals, and we can write back and forth to each other on a regular basis. So I'm very thankful for my grandson writing to me. I'm very thankful for my son, Carl James, because he's really been in contact with me and involving me in his life. And I really appreciate that. He calls me almost on a daily basis. Hey, Dad, what's going on? What's new? So I'm really thankful that my son Carl is, so communicative with me and is willing to share his life with me. I certainly haven't deserved that considering our history. I was not the greatest father with him. Having divorced and remarried and stuff, things were bad. I am thankful for my son Vincent, who just had a baby girl here a year or so ago, and he's got a beautiful wife, and so I'm very thankful that my son Vincent seems to be happy and content with his life. So I'm happy about my two sons and their families and their sons and daughters. I'm very happy that my my first ex-wife, Johanna. I think it's awesome that Johanna's watching this right now, and that we have such a great relationship that we can talk like this and share with each other. I think that's just great. I have a lot of love still, obviously, for my ex-wife, and she for me, and she helped me out when I needed it, and I was really thankful for that. I am thankful that I am on a mission, that I have some big goals in front of me that I want to head towards, and things that I want to do in my life. I have this real passion for wanting to sail around the world and do this new content, this new channel content. So I'm really psyched and thrilled about that, and I'm very thankful that I have that and have the opportunity to execute that, which is awesome. Hello, Cheryl. Better late than never, darling. Glad you're here. So what else am I thankful for? Annapolis 44 in Port Townsend for 60. Oh, there's an Annapolis 44 in Port Townsend for 60. Okay. Message me the link for that if you would, Todd, and I'll take a look for it. Don't put it on the chat because the chat disappears at the end of the video. If you could message me or PM me, that would be awesome. And I'm also thankful for a very special lady that's on here as a moderator this evening, the Cheshire Canary, otherwise known as Rhonda. Rhonda and I have been talking back and forth quite a bit, and it has really been pleasant to have a new friend, a new special person in my life, and I think it's great. Where that relationship may end up, it remains to be seen. Hard to have a distant relationship when we're 2,500 miles away, but it's certainly nice to have somebody care and someone to talk to and share with. So that's awesome. So I'm very thankful for my new friend, Rhonda. She's been awesome. And I'm very thankful for my other friends out there, people I've met and talked to along the way. Teresa Dean and I have had some conversations, and I was thankful for that. And before her, there were others, and so I'm thankful to them. It's been pretty cool. It's been very cool. So my question to you guys is, what are you thankful for? I mean, this is the week of Thanksgiving. It's time to start talking about this stuff. What are you guys thankful for? Psycho Panda, your brother's name is Vincent. That's cool. My youngest son's name is Vincent Zachariah Brooke. His older brother is Carl James. So it was Johanna, my ex-wife, who named him Vincent after her brother. I named him Zachariah just because I thought the name was cool. Always did. In fact, my son Carl named his son Carl. My son's Carl James, and his son is Carl Jeremiah. Jeremiah. And Ethan, his youngest son, is named Ethan, which is cool. Vincent, my brother, is Vincent Stephania. Never heard of that one. Anyhow, I give my grandson CJ, Carl Jeremiah, a hard time because I call him Bullfrog, Frogger. I call him Frogger all the time because you know the song Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Anyhow. And actually, no, he's not Carl the Third. CJ would be Carl the Fifth. My grandfather was Carl Hayes Brooke. My father was Carl Kenneth Brooke. I'm Carl Jonathan. My son's Carl James, and CJ is Carl Jeremiah. So he's Carl the Fifth. Todd, if you at the end of the live stream, if you go to the About page on my channel, you'll be able to get on there, and on the About page, there's a place in there to comment to me, to message me directly. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Or you can get me on my Facebook channel. Grandpa's Farm has a Facebook channel, as do I, under the name Carl Brooke. You can use either one of those too. So that's work. I'm thankful that cat hunting is not controlled by the Fish and Game. Actually, Grizz, it is, but not the cats you're thinking of. In Montana and up here in Alaska, cat hunting is most definitely regulated because up here we have bobcats, and in Ohio or in Montana they had mountain lions, both of which were regulated. Thankful for Jesus sacrificing his life to save ours. Toyota making good trucks, and friends and family. All right, you go, Caleb. I like all that. Very good. Not too sure about Toyota. I'm a Ford man myself, but we'll let that slight pass. That's okay. Who else out there? Todd? Donna, the rest of you guys? Woody? I'm thankful I'm old beats the alternative. It certainly does, Woody. It certainly does. You know, every morning your eyes open is a good day. I'm thankful I'm alive. There you go, Rhonda. What else you guys thankful for? I mean, there's so much, really. You know, I find it interesting that the people that seem to be having the hardest time seem to be the most thankful for things. I'm thankful Moshe's skin tag or wart that flew off his ear at the vet wasn't a tumor and costed less to burn off. Well, that's cool, Judy. I'm glad that's too. I'm thankful for my daughter. Yes, family is always cool. Always cool. Well, if you guys think about more things that you're thankful for, please make a note of it in the comments after the live stream. I'm thankful I still have my parents and good friends. There you go. Solid English. Okay. Yeah, Lady Hawthorne, I wish my parents were still alive. I miss my mom and dad greatly. I'm thankful for you too, because then I wouldn't have met you. Oh, Rhonda, thank you. That's cool. Yeah, I'm thankful for YouTube as well, because it allowed me to meet all you great folks. You know, there's a certain group of people here amongst you guys, well, mostly you guys, that have just really made my whole life, and I'm very thankful for you guys and your involvement and comments and concerns and the love that I feel from this YouTube community. It's a pretty awesome thing. JJ is thankful for number 7. Okay, Grizz. Not sure I understand that, but okay. Carl, I went to the discussion tab and posted a link. All right, cool. Very good. Thank you, Todd. All right, so what else do we have on my agenda here? Let's see. I am thankful for Miss Lily. I am very thankful for Miss Lily. Thankful for my health. There you go. Yep, I'm thankful to have my dog. She has been wonderful to have around, someone to talk to, my buddy. You can probably hear her snoring away in her crate right now, but I am thankful for her, absolutely. Okay, darn my bad luck, I covered everything on my list. I have nothing else on my list to talk about. Ha. Well, we're only a half hour into this, and I'm speechless now. So I talk too fast. I move along too quickly. Jimmy Johnson won his 7th championship. Yeah, there you go. I watched that race. That was pretty interesting. They kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. Donna says I'm working on. Donna, are you working on something to be thankful for? Surely there's a lot in your life to be thankful for. Well, Psycho Panda, I'm thankful that you're here watching me. Thank you. For my husband, 4 kids, and 2 grandchildren, and for my YouTube family. Awesome, Cheryl. Very nice. I'm thankful for all the post-election protests. I love comedy. Oh gosh, Woody, it's hysterical. Absolutely. I'm really laughing at these comments when they go and they interview these people why they're protesting, and these people obviously don't have a clue what's going on in life. Lonely Prepper, I agree. I am thankful to be an American because it allows us all the freedoms that we have. Absolutely. Thankful that Hillary didn't get elected. Yes, I am too. I am very too. Well, hey, Beth, how are you? You've been stalking. How are you feeling, darling? I haven't heard much from you. Are you feeling better? Beth had to go into the hospital this past week. Yes, Donna, I hear you. There are some things to be thankful for, and there's also things to be sad about for others. But this is a week of being hopeful and for a week of Thanksgiving. You know what? You're alive and you're breathing, and you have friends here on YouTube that care about you, that talk to you, and that's a cool thing. So, hello, Tina. Nice to see you. Grandpa, have you any new trail cam videos coming? I'm sure I'll have some trail cams coming. I don't have any at the moment. Since the moose episode, I haven't shot anything new at all. Okay. I don't know how to respond to that right now. I'm thankful that the gods have been merciful and we deserve it. Anything new with the farm animals? Yes, Castle Dove. A lot's new with the farm animals. Mostly that they are gone. They're going fast. Someone came actually and got a goose today. Oh, I had to laugh at these people. They wanted to have a goose for Christmas, and I have more than I can eat. So I sold them one of my gooses. And the guy shows up, and he's got this like 12-year-old boy with him. And so he turns to his son and goes, okay, go grab a goose. And you should have seen the look of horror on this boy's face, the absolute look of horror from the idea that he had to go out and try to grab this goose, because the goose was hissing at him, so he was a little afraid of it. Anyhow, we went out and we showed him how to do it. It was pretty funny watching this kid. He's spending too much time, with the Game Boy and stuff, and not any real life. And this was a little bit too much real life hitting him in the face. It was lots of fun watching that happen. Caleb, lots of gooses and meese in Alaska. Yes, lots of gooses and mooses. We definitely have that. Oh, geese are not scary. Geese put up a big story. They put up a big argument, but they're really easy to handle. Hello, Wendy. Nice to see you, dear. Glad you made it. Every time I brush my teeth, I get hungry afterwards. Rente, that's just a little weird. That's just a little weird. So anyhow, so yes, one of the gooses is gone. Chickens and the ducks are all gone. Turkeys are gone. I have the 2 pigs. I have 2 pigs and 2 geese left. And I'm hoping they'll be gone pretty soon. Geese are mean. Geese can be mean, but these Africans, they just put up a big story and don't really deliver on it. They hiss at you and they'll raise their wings up at you and bluff, but they don't have the means of backing that up. So we will see. We will see. The geese are on their way out, and right now we're just trying to clean up and wrap up. We're selling off stuff and unloading stuff and trying to clean up the yard a little bit as best we can. Hard to do with my shoulder still bothering me, but it's getting much better, but still hurts to do heavy lifting with it. Other than that, this week has been a bad week, and that I've spent most of the week working on divorce documents and that crap. So, but got them all done, filed with the court. So hopefully we're going to make some progress on that here fairly soon, and then things will be much better. Got to get this behind me. Got to get all this put behind me so I can move on with my life. Austin, actually, I had 3 ganders left. I now have 2 ganders left. I don't have any female gooses. So you guys talk about raining, and we dropped 40 degrees. Yeah, well, we're at -8 up here in Alaska. -8 last night, and it's about -2 right now outside. So it's pretty cold. The wrist is still sore, but doing much better. Thank you, Rhonda. For those of you that don't know, I slipped and fell on the ice, hurt my wrist too. That's life up here in Alaska in the wintertime. It's all slip and fall, slip and fall. So I just shut all the electric and internet off and get my son would learn how to be self-sufficient. Yeah, Wendy, I agree with that. It's one of the reasons why I'm going sailing. That way I can be away from all the internet stuff. I do not have video games here. I don't play games. I don't play games on the computer either. The only game I ever play is I play solitaire on my phone from time to time, mostly to keep my mind occupied. And I usually do that at night just before I go to bed. I'll play a couple games of solitaire. That's it. I don't play any of these, first-person shooters or waste any of my time with any of that kind of stuff. So, future's so bright you got to wear shades. There you go, Beth. I am happy about that. When is breakfast with Grandpa? Is brunch for me, I guess. It will be over a fire or stove. No, I cook on my electric stove. I do, but when I get on board ship, it's a propane stove and a propane grill. That's what you have. So, well, hello, Ken, Eagle 281. Welcome, sir. I hope you enjoy our show. I'm glad that you're thankful for my channel. I really do appreciate that. I hope that I am always worthy of that kind of respect. And I'm thankful for your family, too. Obviously, you're a good guy. Thank you for 50% eggnog and 50% milk. All right, Caleb, that's cool. Now, Caleb, if I remember correctly, you're 18 years old, so you might think about 50% eggnog and 50% rum at this point because, well, that's just kind of good. But breakfast here at Grandpa's is usually pretty early. I usually get up around 5:36 and eat breakfast. Although, to be honest with you, the last few mornings I have been sleeping in. I think because of the time change up here. It doesn't get daylight here till around 9 a.m. And so I've not been waking up until about, 8:30 or thereabouts. So until it starts getting light outside, then I finally get up. I'm not legal yet. All right, Caleb, you're not legal yet. That's all right. All in good time, my friend. All in good time. 73 Tartan 41 for sale in Bellingham, Washington. 49,000 might be better for dive equipment, except no sugar scoop stern. Cool, Todd. That's interesting boat. Tartans are a good solid boat. They really are. They're a good solid boat. That might be something that could work. Solar oven for the boat. Tina, probably not. Solar ovens really aren't practical on a boat because boats move. The solar oven, you got to have it sitting still with the sun aimed at it at a right angle. And with the boat, you're constantly moving a little bit. So they tend not to work too efficiently on a sailboat. In fact, on the sailboat, you need to have a boat. Our stoves are, the gas stove on the boat is on a spindle. So that as the boat rocks, the stove will stay still. It's sort of an interesting thing. So as the boat's going back and forth, the stove will lean the other way. So you can put a pot of boiling water on the stove on a sailboat, and it's not going to fly off because the boat, the stove is on what's known as a gimbal. It's gimbaled and stays on there. So got to keep moving, Grandpa. Don't want to gather no moss. That's right, Ernie. I definitely got to get going. Who has an eggnog recipe to share? Safeway, cool. Promised Land eggnog. There you go. Hello from Sterling, Alaska. Hello, Kevin. Nice to see you. Welcome to Grandpa's Farm Gone Sailing, which is our new name. And that's what we're doing. We're selling our farm up here in Alaska and going to buy a sailboat and head out. Gastonin Farm here. Cool, Judy. Now I'm thirsty for eggnog. Yeah, right? I looked at some eggnog in the store. I thought about buying it, but it's outside of my diet. Way too fattening for me to be having eggnog right now. I'm trying to drop some tonnage, so I've got about 200 pounds to lose, actually. So I'm pretty active with it right now and trying to knock some weight off. So, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm welcome. Okay, so we've covered what we're thankful for, and I sort of covered all of the videos from this past week. This week coming up, I've got a video coming out about the Electrosand system. It's a boat conservation kind of thing, but it's also something that has a lot of application. When I was in Ohio, they permitted these electric treatment systems for sewage, which I thought was really good. It's basically a septic tank, and the effluent comes into the septic tank. It's treated with a propeller that turns inside of it that injects oxygen, which was pretty cool. That's one way of dealing with it. This system on the boat, however, is even cooler because what it does is it takes the salt water in from out in the water, the boat's sitting in salt water. It removes the chlorine from the sodium molecule in the salt water. It separates the chlorine from the sodium. It concentrates the chlorine and uses that to sanitize your effluent, your poop, your shit, okay? And after it uses that, and that chlorine is like 10 times stronger than the bottle of Clorox you buy at the store, okay? It's very potent chlorine. So after the chlorine is used to scrub all this stuff, it's then bonded back to the salt, the sodium, making sodium chloride again, which is salt water, part of salt water, and then it's put back out into the ocean. So they actually take the molecule, separate it, clean with it, put it back together, and put it back out. So you're not creating any pollutant whatsoever, and you've disinfected the stuff coming out of you, so you can just discharge it straight out into the ocean, and any bacteria and stuff in it has been killed. It's just an amazing technology that I would like to see on more and more sailboats because it would help with the with that. Although you're still going to have the nitrogen loading, at least it would eliminate that aspect of it. So the 91 Beneteaus. The Beneteaus tend not to have real thick hulls in them. Beneteaus are modern day production boats made by the French for the charter fleets in the Caribbean, and generally speaking, they're pretty thin hulled, more of a coastal cruiser and not really a blue water boat. So I tend not to look too much at the Beneteaus. They have and can sail across the world's ocean. They just aren't a big heavy displacement boat that is more what I'm looking for. And again, as you learn more and more about sailboats, you'll begin to understand sort of the nuances of one versus the other. I'm sitting on the remote wondering why the TV. Judy, that's funny. Okay, so what else is new and exciting? I guess that's it. The farm here is getting wrapped up. We're selling everything that I'm trying to unload everything I have here. Which is sort of odd. I don't know if you ever gone through that exercise, but it's sort of interesting to get rid of everything you own. It really is. So, good night, Wendy. We'll see you next time, hopefully. I know we're running kind of late. Maybe we should start doing our live streams earlier in the evenings. I don't know. I know it's just now 6:45 for me, but it's 10:45 for those of you on the East Coast, and so I know that gets kind of late. But Judy, that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Okay, well, I'm at sort of a loss for topics. What do you guys have? Anybody have a topic they'd like to discuss? The election is over. I am pleased with some of the decisions coming out of the Trump camp. That's looking pretty good. I'm not leaving because Trump is the best we could do. I am very disappointed that Trump is the best we could do, Woody. I'm glad Trump beat Hillary, but neither one of them are anywhere near what I would think of as being presidential. Yeah, Lady Hawthorne, there you go. So you downsized everything to a 10 by 12 room. Very cool. Yeah, I have to downsize everything to a sailboat. And, the scary thing for me is that when we were in Montana, we had a 5,000 square foot house. So I have 3 10 by 20 storage units still in Montana full of stuff. And that's going to just stay there. I'll pay the rent and just have those stay there while I'm out cruising. Up here in Alaska, we drove up here with a U-Haul truck full of stuff and 2 trucks pulling trailers full of stuff. Now, we've gotten rid of a lot of that stuff already, but I've got a lot more to go. So, have you planned any dry dock time during your travels for bottom cleaning? Yes, of course, Lonely Prepper. Annually, we'll have to haul the boat and repaint. Ideally, we're going to try to get ourselves located in places that can be done cost efficiently. Like you don't do something like that in Seattle or San Diego. You wait till you get down to Panama and get that done, where you're paying pennies on the dollar for the work. Yes, 5,000 square foot was a big house. Absolutely, large house, sitting on the banks of the Yellowstone River. Well, up on a hill overlooking the banks of the Yellowstone River. Actually, if you watch my video from today, you'll see my backyard and a view from the back of my house. I don't think he's the president, but in name, think we're being tricked. Husband is usually right. Just don't tell him that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I think Donald's making some good decisions. I am pleased to see that. I'll have to sleep outside. Yeah, well, Grizz, and maybe that's why I don't have a wife now. She just didn't have the drive. She didn't have the cojones to do that. She didn't have the balls to do that. And there's no other nice way of saying it. And we're kind of late night here for all you guys on the East Coast anyway. It takes a lady with some pretty big nuts to be willing to, downsize to next to nothing and take off. It would be a scary thing for a lot of folks, and I understand that. But, we can always sell the boat and buy something else later on. It's not a life sentence. It's just an adventure. Yeah, Donna, that's the trick most people get stuck into is they want a little bit larger house and then they get more stuff. So they have, George Carlin did a whole routine on a place for my stuff. You get a place for your stuff, you get more stuff, you need a little bit larger place, and so on and so forth. In sailboats, they call that 2-footism. You go buy yourself a 36 boat and then you want a 38, and you get the 38 foot and then you want the 40. You get the 40-foot boat, you want the 42, and so on. The grass is always greener. You always need something bigger. All that mentality plays into place. Truth be told, if all things being equal, I would prefer a Lagoon 440, which is a big sailing catamaran. It's a 44-foot long, 28-foot wide sailing catamaran with 3 heads and three staterooms, and it's just a big old huge boat. But I don't want to spend $500,000 or wait until I have $500,000 before I go. I don't want to have to delay. Maybe at some point, at some time, maybe my channel will blow up. Maybe I'll have a huge Patreon support group over time. Who knows? There's a sailing couple out right now called they do a channel on YouTube called Sailing La Vagabond. Maybe Rhonda can put up a link to them on here if she can. And they just got an offer from Outreamer Catamarans. Outreamer, since their channel has gotten so popular and they have so many people watching their channel, Outreamer is going to give them use of one of their big catamarans for a year so they can use it as their vehicle while conducting their YouTube channel. That's a sponsorship. So who knows? Maybe Lagoon will see the benefits of that and come to me and tell me they want me to sail around the world in a Lagoon catamaran. I do know that there's another couple that do a show called Distant Shores. It's a television show. It's on network television. They also post on YouTube. And they had a sailboat company in England provide them with a boat. So it can happen. It can happen. We'll just have to see. I learned something today. All babies are born with balls, and the doc slaps the balls off the stupid ones. Okay, Grizz. Am I planning on growing anything on the boat? That's a hard question to answer. It depends on the boat, and probably because, I've been a farmer my whole life, I'm going to want to grow something. I can't grow any livestock because of the logistics of bringing animals in and out of different countries, but I might do a lemon tree or a lime tree or something like that. A small thing. Certainly we'll have a small tray of herbs for in the kitchen. I think that would be a definite thing. I'll grow some herbs, but I don't know much about past that. So, okay, what else did we got then? It's paid for though. My house is quite small. Yeah, Donna, and I get that. I get that. And why interfere with something that's good? Like, you have your home and it's paid for. But I have a calling right now to go do what it is I want to do. I want to go do a sort of, Jacques Cousteau meets, kind of show. I want to go out and do some stuff on the undersea world and on conservation and talk about these things. And Cousteau once said, and this is one of his famous statements, he once said that people only protect what they love. And the problem with the oceans is when you get down to the beach and you look out across the ocean, you can't see through the water. You can't see below the water. You just see the surface. And so most people don't care about what's in the ocean. They simply don't care. They don't see what's in the ocean. They don't. In fact, they're scared of it. They came out with a movie called Jaws, and the networks have Jaws Week on, and they scare the hell out of everybody about being in and around the ocean. And the fact is, it's just not like that, guys. It's really not like that. And so people are afraid of the ocean and don't care what happens to things in the ocean. And I'd like to turn that around. I would like you guys to have the opportunity to see some of the really cool things that happens in and under the ocean, and maybe motivate you guys to want to care a bit more for it. I mean, that's kind of what my dream is. That's kind of what my motivation is. I'd like to help people get over that fear of sharks. Not that they may ever get over that. I'm certainly afraid of sharks. But you know, sometimes when you're under the ocean and you have this really well, on Tuesday, I think, or Tuesday or Wednesday, I have a video coming out where I'm actually swimming with a turtle, and the turtle is actually, you'll see it turn and come into me while we're swimming. It was actually hanging out and swimming with me like we were dive buddies, and that was just a real cool experience to me to swim with this hawksbill turtle. We've had experiences with cleaning stations. Cleaning stations are where fish in a particular area will congregate, and then other fish will swim up near that area, and then the little fish will swim in and out of like the gills of the big fish and clean them and help, you know, clean the stuff off the surface and stuff. It's called the cleaning station. And we've had that experience where we've been, even though we're humans, been invited to participate in a cleaning station and get cleaned a little bit by these fish. So, you know, these sorts of experiences that I'd like to share with folks and get people to understand. So that's kind of my passion and what I kind of like to do. So I'm willing to, you know, get rid of the house and everything that I own here and sell it all, because it will enable me to do what it is that I want to do. It will enable me to be able to get out there and create the content that hopefully might motivate people or inspire people or interest people. I do find it interesting that, you know, the Cousteau people stopped producing stuff in the 1980s, so almost 40 years ago, and there really isn't anybody that's done anything like it since. Nobody. There isn't nothing out there that's like it since. There's a few people that do occasional stuff. Jeff Corwin does a couple things, and Cousteau's grandson does a couple things, but there's nobody putting out regular content about the world's oceans and scuba diving and sailing around the world and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people putting out sailing stuff on YouTube. There's a lot of channels that just, you know, they bought a sailboat and they're living on their sailboat while they sail around the world. There's lots of that kind of content, but it's just them. You know, it's a couple having cocktails in the back of their boat while they're, you know, and then wanting people to contribute to Patreon where all they're doing is sitting on the back of their boat drinking cocktails. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about trying to motivate people and to get people over their fear and conducting a lot of citizen science projects and trying to do stuff with it. Water is life, even if it has salt. Actually, water is life because it has salt for a lot of critters. There's a lot of animals that can't live in fresh water that have to have the salt water. So it most definitely is life. Beth, there's water in the mountains. I think it's the water that makes people feel healthy, even if it's a lake or a mountain stream. All water makes people feel healthy. Usually the water up in the higher mountains and stuff tends to be cleaner because it hasn't had the opportunity to be polluted by us and other things as often. So maybe it's a bit healthier if it's higher up in the mountains. It's certainly colder. But that's not where I'm going to be concentrating on. I'm going to be concentrating on the ocean. The ocean is the shark's house. If it bites you, it's because you're a bad guest. Yes. You know, Woody, there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that. A lot of people that get bit by sharks deserve it because they're not doing their part to take care of it. But a lot of people are just in the wrong place at the wrong time, too. More people die in their cars driving to the beach to go surfing than get bit by sharks while surfing. And it's surfers in the water is the category that has the most amount of shark bites, are surfers in the water. And more people die driving to go surfing than they do by shark bite. Yes, it happens, but it's very rare. Very rare. Considering the millions of people and the bazillions of hours that people are in recreating in the water, there's actually very few times when a shark has actually bit somebody. Walter Block would call the problems with the ocean the tragedy of the commons. Well, that's an interesting statement. I'll have to look that up. Sorry if I'm shaking the table, but my pad's on it and it shakes. So I prefer the Pacific. Do you prefer one ocean area to another? Yes, I do. I prefer the warm part of the ocean as opposed to the cold part of the ocean. We have great fishing up here in Alaska and beautiful places to go sailing during the summer, but the water's way too cold, so you can't jump in and swim. So I prefer the warmer places. Do I prefer the Pacific over the Atlantic? Generally speaking, no. I don't have a preference for one ocean over another, or the Indian Ocean, or, they all have their pluses and minuses. So I don't really have a preference of one versus the other. There's some places in the Caribbean that I absolutely love, and that's the Atlantic. And there's places in French Polynesia that I also love, and that's the Pacific. So equally as well. Having grown up in New York on Long Island, swimming down at Jones Beach in Long Island and stuff, that water is really murky. You can't see anything in it. I do like to swim in water where I can actually see around me, and that tends to be warmer water. You don't have the clear water when you get up into the colder water. It gets more green and stuff. So no, I do not really have a preferred ocean. The ocean produces ions that are good for your body. Yes, very true. Yep, there's lots of natural chemistry going on in the world's oceans that is good for us, and in some strange ways, these undersea vents that are dumping what would be to us toxic gases into the ocean. There's a whole ecosystem of life around those. So it's pretty interesting that not everything is oxygen based on our planet. I got to go, Grandpa. Good to hear from you for now. Hey, Caleb, buddy, I'm glad you were here. Hopefully we'll see you next week. You take care of yourself, and go get yourself an eggnog and milk. It'll be good for you. You have a good evening, sir. And with that said, I think we pretty much killed off another hour. Unless you guys have some more questions, I'll feel free to ask some questions. I'll be happy to answer some stuff for a bit. If not, then we can call it an evening. It's whatever you guys feel up for. I got sucked down in a water tow at Jones Beach when I was 6. YMCA did its job. Yeah. So the YMCA told you to go ahead and go with the flow. Wait till you get flushed out, then swim up the stream, up the beach a little bit, and swim back in. Is that what you're talking about, or did they teach you to swim well enough that you powered yourself out of it? Any comment about the radiation leakage into the Pacific Ocean? Oh gosh. Yeah, Donna. Again, this is one of those things where mankind has deemed that the ocean is big enough that we have a solution by dilution. It's a parts per million kind of answer, and I don't really agree with that. I think we're at a point now where we're hitting toxic levels in so many different areas. It's one of the reasons why I kind of want to go sailing now while it's all still there before it's all gone. Right now I'm not overly optimistic. We have huge coral bleaching happening in the coral reefs, not just here around the United States, but the Great Barrier Reef, half of it's dead right now from coral bleaching. Tremendous amount of negative stuff going on in the ocean. And so I'd like to talk more about that and highlight more, to give some of that a voice. I'd like to give some of that a voice. So Ernie says, I drink golden milk morning and evening. Golden milk. I assume you're referring to beer, Arnie. Nasty undertow where the Columbia River meets the Pacific. Sure, anytime there's a river coming out into the ocean, the flow of that water is going to create some undertow with it. Sure it will. That's just the flow of water. It's the hydrodynamics. You're going to run into that. Okay, well, you guys must know something about this golden milk that I don't know, because I've not heard of the term golden milk before. Breaking up versus Mayan. Golden milk is made. Oh, with turmeric. I see. Huh. You take milk and then you add turmeric to it. Turmeric's supposed to be good for your liver. I don't care for the flavor of it, but it's supposed to be good for your liver. Beer is iced coffee to me. Okay. I like that Greek island I told you about, like squishing our continent down into both mountains and oceans. You don't have to live at sea level, but can visit it for health. Sure. Yeah, I love the Greek Isles. One of my favorite places. Excellent food. Excellent history there. In fact, there's some dive sites in the Greek Isles I'd like to dive, where there's a lot of Greek antiquities that are under the sea. I'd like to videotape and document some of that. Turmeric honey milk. Okay. Cool. Golden milk. So are you adding the turmeric for your liver? Is that why you're adding it, to improve your liver? Beth, yes, the Greek Isles. Greek Isles, by the way, is one of the world's great sailing destinations as well. A lot of great sailing, going in and out of all the different islands, visiting one to the next. One of the places in America, like the British Virgin Islands, the Greek Islands, French Polynesia, let me see where else, Tonga, all the little islands around Tonga. There's a few places around the world that are great sailing destinations, and the Greek Isles is one of them. Good for joint pain. Yeah, Grizz's time is up. He's back out and amongst us again. Oh, I'm not sure what was said, but he got whacked. If there are islands, I'm happy. Yes, islands are cool. I enjoy islands. Nice just to see little isolated areas and see how different they are from one another. Turmeric, honey, pinch of black pepper. Added to milk, Arnie? Is that what you're referring to? Turmeric, honey, and pinch of black pepper added to milk. And whole milk, 2% milk? I assume whole milk. Interesting. Grizz is a naughty puppy love puppies plus. Okay, Grizz. There you go. Gets rid of inflammation. Interesting. It was a courtesy timeout. Okay, Grizz, that's cool. Okay, Todd, you're referring to the Pacific Gyre. Yes, there is a area, I hate to say this, but there's an area almost larger than the state of Texas, floating out in the Pacific Ocean. It's a place where the current rolls it into a circle, and massive amounts of plastic and junk collecting out there, and it stays out there floating, and slowly breaking up into smaller and smaller pieces until it disappears, which it eventually will as it continues to float and get dispersed around. I did a video recently talking about the plastics, the microplastic study, and that's kind of what they're dealing with. That Pacific Gyre is generating a lot of the microplastics that are found in the water columns. The oceans have an ability to be able to distribute all those plastics evenly everywhere. Even in the remote anchorages where I was up in Alaska, we found a pretty large amount of plastic particulate in them. So yes, Beth, you're right. The oceans do have a floating garbage islands in them, and that is a huge shame, because that plastic didn't come from the ocean; it came from us human beings. So the ocean there is different than decades ago. I think less sea life and more pollution. Yes, Don, absolutely. Garbage island, the Indian and Atlantic oceans as well. Yes, all the major oceans do have a garbage island in them. All of them do. Judy, those garbage swirls have been documented. They've been well documented. There's a lot of research out there on them. You can get online and do some research on it. Wikipedia's got some interesting articles about it, and certainly in the references through the Wikipedia, it'll give you some of the science projects that were ongoing we're studying that. Yeah, Beth, I heard that California banned plastic bags. Man, I wish we would do that nationwide. To me, plastic bags is one of the worst things we have in our society, and it's such a simple thing that folks can do on a day-to-day basis. Get yourself some reusable bags and take them into the grocery store with you. Take them into the hardware store with you. Quit getting these plastic bags. And quit using the little plastic bottles for water. That water coming out of plastic bottles is usually no better than the water out of your bathroom tap. Use your tap water and drink that with a glass. It's much better than generating all this plastic that is ending up out in the world's oceans. So I was thrilled that California banned those plastic bags. Hoping that is something that will spread out to the rest of the states in the United States too, so they would follow that lead, because it's something that's very easily done away with. Google garbage island photos. There you go. Yeah, it's not hard to find information on them. It's such a common knowledge thing today. I do hope to sail up to them and document it somewhat myself. I shouldn't say it that way. I will sail up to them and document that myself. I don't wish to do that. I would hope that they weren't existing in the first place, but they are there, and so we need to give some voice to that. So I meant the Mediterranean is deteriorating. Donna, all oceans and seas are deteriorating with pollution. The Mediterranean actually faster than a lot of areas because there's a lot of economically challenged countries that use the Mediterranean as their septic system and their garbage fart. I know, hey, when I grew up in New York as a kid, I remember in the city of New York, they would take the garbage from the city of New York, load it up on barges, and haul it out into the ocean and dump it. And they did that for a while until New Jersey sued New York because all the garbage from New York was washing up on the beaches in New Jersey. And so New Jersey started suing the state of New York, and New York stopped doing that. Now what do? They haul all the garbage from New York into the places like Ohio and Pennsylvania and create huge mountains of garbage from it. Makes me sick just to think about it. I heard parts of California banned cores, fireplaces, and stuff. Is that true? I don't know about them banning fireplaces. Burning wood is sort of a natural pollution that you would have from a forest fire anyway. But if any place was going to ban fireplaces, it would be California. They have an air quality issue there. So water makes me sick. That's why I drink vodka. There's a lot of truth to that. You know, frankly, Grizz, the reason why so many alcohols became so prevalent is because it was healthier to drink than the water because the water had been polluted. So many diseases were in the water systems because they didn't understand how to deal with water purification and how to store water and how to transport water in a safe means. So, you know, the development of things like beer, because they fermented the water and the alcohol killed the germs in it, made it easier to drink, and they didn't get sick from it. So a lot of reasons why a lot of beer was created and a lot of the alcohol was created were just that reason. San Francisco doesn't allow wood burning stoves. Yeah, and that's a direction that unfortunately we're going in. Hey, I think a fellow YouTuber might be selling their boat. They just completed the Northwest Passage in Alaska, junk rigged boat yacht teleport. Yeah, I'm familiar with teleport, Todd. I don't know that that's what I'm looking for. And I don't know that they're going to be selling yet, but might be something. I watch our local Craigslist ads and see what comes out. And I got a couple boat brokers that call me when they have something that might work for me. Again, though, I can't pull the trigger on buying anything right now until I get the property here sold, which is going to be kind of hazardous because I'm going to have to make that happen immediately when I sell this. Typically, I'll get this property in contract and usually have about 60 days from the time I get in contract to closing. And so I need to identify a boat and put a down payment on something. So as soon as I sell this, I can buy that and move all my stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see when that happens. It'll happen quickly. Martin Luther wrote about how beer is healthier than water. Yes, that's true. Yes, Rhonda, mead was developed because it was safer than water. And wood burning stoves, catalytic converters are encouraged. Yeah, catalytic converters are encouraged, and they're a great way of reburning the gases coming off the wood stove. So they reduce the carbon loading and stuff coming out of them. It's a good idea. I thought they were making ones that dissolve now, but still like them. I thought that. Yeah, Donna, they were making some biodegradable grocery sacks. But again, that just means that they break up in little tiny pieces of plastic sooner. They don't ever completely disappear. They just become smaller particulates. And so they end up back in things like beer, which is important. So, yeah, Grizz, you're right. I know with my wood stove, sometimes my smoke will come out and just hover, and I'll make a cloud out here on my property in front of my cabin. Just because of the way the weather is, the pressure and the wind currents or what have you, it'll just stick. For the most part, it gets sucked up into the atmosphere and sucked away. But frankly, I'm kind of looking forward to being on a sailboat and not having to heat anymore. To me, heating space so that I can live seems like a huge waste of resources. just a ridiculous waste of resources and time. I have to have chainsaws and drag lumber and all the sweat involved with that, and then cut it and stack it and split it and move it and haul it and load it in the stove and clean the stove ash and all that just so I can stay warm. Living on a sailboat in the tropics, I eliminate all of that. Don't have to stay warm. I will be warm. The planet's warm. I'll stay warm. Ohio is big on cornstarch tableware. Yeah, because the cornstarch tableware is biodegradable. Yep. Okay, and there's something to think about. There's something else I'm thankful for. It seems like we have a lot of positive motion happening in that direction. Ohio going to cornstarch tableware, California banning plastic bags. It seems like we're finally getting some traction and making some positive progress, which we have been on a regular, ongoing basis, I know, but it seems like we're getting more and more, and I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that snowballing and accelerating some. Even bird treated outdoor wood. Can walk outside and run back in to breathe. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of burning the treated wood. That wood's treated with copper and arsenic. Not the healthiest thing to be burning or to be around when it's burning. So, yeah, Grizz, I agree with you that, in some ways I kind of enjoyed going out and getting the firewood. It's good exercise, getting out in the brisk cold air, doing a little work, running the chainsaws is kind of fun, but I'm over that now. I've been doing that long enough and for enough time that I'm kind of over that. So, ever seen lick a... No. Not sure what you mean, Rhonda. Yeah, Beth, I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of problem with all the wood burning fireplaces, and in some areas, there's so many people in such a small area. It's going to be once again a solution by dilution. Except we've reached the toxic level. You get too many people burning wood in too small of a community, you're overloading the ability of the environment to deal with that. So, ever seen lickable wood? Okay. You guys are so weird. Lickable wood, and from there, Beth jumps to frogs you can lick to get high. Pumpernickel hickory. Carbon from wood burning is what is missing in our vegetables now. Interesting. Yes, we all know about toad sucking. Teleporter cell is 29. Yeah, 29 is way too small. 29, I'm not going to do that. My old Cal 31 was a 31 footer. It's just too small. I want to have a boat large enough for me and the dog to be comfortable in, but also so I can have more people on board. In fact, I've been talking to some scientists and people involved in different research projects going on, and a lot of them have expressed to me that if I had a boat going down the West Coast, they have a couple grad students that would like to jump on board to be able to do some of the science projects that we've talked about and that they have ongoing, water sampling and depth sampling and filtered water and that kind of stuff, and would love to have the ability of jumping on my boat and using it as a floating housing and research facility for them. So ideally, it'd be nice if I had a boat large enough that I could have room for me and 3 or 4 other people that aren't married. So maybe room for 5, 6 people, 3 or 4 people, whatever. So that's going to take something in that 36 to 40 foot range. That way there's enough room for people, because I would really love to be able to facilitate that kind of stuff going on. I think it would be awesome to facilitate that kind of stuff going on. So, oh, my Pellegrino. At the end of that one, lemony. Sour, wow. Whew. All right, well, so where are we at? We're talking about, wonder how small fire would have to be for a Cornish hen. Not very big. Wouldn't take much of a fire to cook a Cornish hen. they're kind of small. Huh. That was a look, huh? Just reading some of these comments. Some of them are, well, yeah. Considering the people we got on here, is not at all surprising. But all right, well, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and call it here. We're hitting an hour 20, and I don't know that we're making any more real progress. I'm not sure what our topic or our conversation is going to be about next week, but we'll get that way when we get that way and see what it has to bring with it. But unless anybody's got a last minute question, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night and end the live stream here. So does anybody have any last minute questions? I'll give a minute or two because I know we're on delay a little bit here, but if not, we will call it a day. All right. Well, I guess we're kind of there, folks. So we'll have a good evening, you guys. I'm very thankful that everybody was here watching the show. You guys all have a phenomenal Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys next week. Okay. Okay, guys. You take care. Bye.